What I'm going to tie here is called a Claude minnow. It's basically, that's a minnow pattern. So this is basically in every fly box in Florida. It was actually developed by Bob Claude up on the Susquehanna River for smallmouth bass, but it's been incorporated in everything. You know, it's probably caught more fish on this fly than anything else. It's probably, I mean, it's a very famous fly. It's a very simple fly. It's made out of bucktail. So we have, we're going to use white for the belly, and we have chartreuse for the top. We're going to put on some dumbbell eyes, because when this is in, we want it to sink. It's going to help it sink, and then when you retrieve it, you pull it up and it flutters back down like a purple minnow. That's the motion of it.
What we do typically to put this on is we will take a piece and I cut it off and I'll put it on here, and then this is my tying thread, and what I'll do, this isn't the right piece, it's on the hack and pass it around. But I put it around the cord like this, bring it together double. I bring it up on top, I let it slide up down my line here, and I bring it right down to the base. And I put 2 wraps around, and then I'm going to peel this off where I had it, put 1 piece down the side of each, and I come over here, and I want to get 2 small wraps here. Then I would take and build this up as a head, and I'll get this to where I want it. Right now what I'm going to do is tie this off with a whip finisher. What a whip finisher does, this is a tool that wraps. You take a piece of line across everything and you wrap this around it, and when you're done you cut it and it slides up through. That way you don't have a bulky little knot or anything on the side of the fly. It just stays very smooth and nice. So I'm going to put a piece of the whip finish on here in a moment. So what we have here is just really just a big rag material. The goal is to make this look like this. So what I'm going to do is I will now take this hair and work it around 180 degrees. I've got it here. And I'm going to get like this. And what I'm going to do is I want to cut this close to the edge of the hook. And I'm just going to take this and cut all that hair off in a straight angle. And trim it off. And the density of the materials also should not be very heavy, because the goal is to be able to see through the material. We don't have time to do it all, but these are artificial eyes that you get, and you buy them in different sizes and they'll be applied. And the eye is typically put straight up from the barb of the hook. So the ribbon above the hook shows my eyes going to come on there. And I put them on both sides. Then what we do is we use a lot of epoxies now. We used to use a lot of glues and cements, but we've gone to epoxy quite a bit. And we'll put the epoxy on. This gets a clear coating. There's 2 types. There's a soft epoxy and there's a very hard ribbon. But they'll end up like plastic. They have a much more professional finished look to them. And the way you do that is when they started with epoxies, they were using 2-part epoxies either 30 minutes or 5 minutes to wait for them to set. Well, today, what we do is we use this, I'm not going to shine it at you because it's not good for your eyes, but we use this blue light, it's UV, and it sets the epoxy and hardens it. It takes about 24 seconds, and then it's done. I put it on, coat my thread wraps. If I put it on other places, I will put it on there and set that up to get that fly hard around the head. And I'll come up from where I wrapped it, put it over the thread wraps is where I'm going to coat it. And then I usually go from the eye back to the thread light. And I create a little tear. And those eyes are never going to come off.